Hello everyone, find another video in TCL Tick scripting series. In this video, I will show the usage of scale widget. Now, how this scale widget can use to provide input into a procedure. There are two types of scale which we can found in which we can found into the TCL Tick series. That is the horizontal scale and vertical scale, as I have shown into the diagram. A horizontal scale and a vertical scale, wherever it shows it contains a slider. This slider holds the current value over the scale. Now this slider value can act as variable and it can display. So now we have a range. The scale can be instanced from the library. From the scale.s, here we have certain options. What are the features we are willing to provide inside the scale. Here at this point I can have orientation. I can go for either horizontal or vertical. Here I can go from minus 2. That provide here what is the minimum value, maximum value of the scale. What is the length? Minus length provide what is the complete length of the scale. Minus variable. Variable going to decide what is the variable associated with slider value. It means it can act as a slider for the substitution into the next procedure. Tick interval, it's going to decide what is the every movement of the slider. If I'm going to drag the slider up or down horizontal, what is the step of the movement? Now try to understand this scale widget with this demonstration. Here I am going to instance the two different scale dot s1. I'm giving the same certain local name minus orient h. It will take the orientation of horizontal. Minus from, I'm going to take 0, minus 2, range 100, minus length, I'm going to take the 500. Now here I'm going to decide minus variable. Minus variable, I'm going to decide here the x, and I'm going to write here that minus, let me minimize it somewhat. Now I'm going to set tick interval. Tick interval, I'm going to take here the 5. Now afterwards, simply I need the spelling of the length. So now scale S1 has been created. Now simply I need to pack it. Pack dot S1. What we have seen, a scale has appeared over our GUI screen or VC screen wherever the length range of the scale is 0 to 100. Tick interval is 5 and a slider value which shows the current value of x. If the value of this 33, that is current value, it can act as input into the some other procedure into the TCL, and that value has been updated into the variable x. Similarly, if I will willing to make some other scale, suppose if I'm going let me demonstrate here the vertical scale. Simply instead of h, I'm going to write only v scale dot s2, and I'm going to update the variable value as y. Okay. So in this situation, we have I'm going to create a vertical scale. Now pack it, pack dot s2. So automatic the scale will created at the in the top to bottom order from the into the complete scale. Here now I have two scale. One is the scale s1 with variable horizontal with variable of x. There is a one another scale which I have created s2 from range 0 to 100 with variable of y. Now in my next example, I am going to show how this scale can provide input towards a procedure. In this example, I am trying to show a calculated value, to calculate the square value of the slider. So it means if we have the one horizontal scale in which the values thrown by the slider, it will be calculated, a square will be calculated and display at the output device. So for that, I am going to simply calling a scale. We have done in my previous demonstration scale dot s minus horizontal H minus from, I'm going to take, either we can take 0 or we can take minus 100 to plus 100. I'm going to provide minus length 500 minus tick interval, which default value is 1. I'm going to take 2. Okay, so now afterwards, here necessary that we need to, I'm going to call a procedure minus command. So minus command, I'm going to define a procedure for scale. We need to pack it so that it can appear, and in the beginning I'm going to define a procedure. So procedure in which we have a variable. Sorry, I have not given the variable here, so we need to define a variable. So minus variable, I'm going to define a variable x. Now minus command, we have the square, so here this variable value going to map over this procedure. So I'm going to write another character here, num. So value of x will be mapped to this procedure and it will calculate the square. I'm going to take another variable, set sq expr dollar num multiply dollar num. Now finally sq will hold the value, sq going to hold the value of square, which is mapped by the scaled from the scale to the procedure. Now finally it will put a single value result, the value of slider dollar, I'm going to write the num and its square is dollar sq. So how we have created the value, this is a complete procedure. Now I have saved it, which I'm going to source this program with which, yeah, showing the procedure argument body sq. Sorry, I have not given the name of procedure here, square. Now let me source it again. Yeah, it has been created. Now we can visualize it in the this screen. A scale is available with the range minus 100 to plus 100 with tick interval of 2. Now here we have slider. Slider is located at by default current value at 0. Now here the output will appear is my standard output, that is a standard output device, that is my console. If I'm going to scroll it, it will display slider at 1 square is 1, slider at 2 square is 4, slider at what current value of 3 square is 9. So we can scroll it up and down up to the 100, and we can go for minus 100. It will provide us the square value of current. What is the current value of slider, that will update at the end and will going to provide into the console window. So I hope you will like, must have liked this video.